This is the Tombigbee Tales, and I'm your host, Shannon Evans. I write about a small town in northeast Mississippi called Columbus. Sometimes I write about the rest of the state. This episode is titled The Remarkable Life of Beulah Bettersworth, a Forgotten Artist. Welcome to Tombigbee Tales. This podcast is dedicated to illuminating the untold stories of remarkable, colorful, and unusual people who lived, worked, or passed through Columbus, Mississippi. Today, we'll explore the extraordinary life of Beulah Ruth Bettersworth, an artist who transcended mere visual representation to become a profound social documentarian of early 20th century America. Born on September 12, 1894, in the gritty industrial landscape of St. Louis, Missouri, a city that was a melting pot of industrial growth, immigration, and emerging artistic movements. Beulah experienced the raw energy of America's manufacturing heart there. Her neighborhood near the Mississippi River docks was a complex tapestry of working class immigrants, factory workers, and emerging industrial economies. Her parents started with her father, a railroad machinery worker, and her mother, Margaret, a seamstress and part-time textile worker, initially saw art as an impractical pursuit for their working class daughter. She had two brothers, both of whom would eventually start working in manufacturing. By age 10, Beulah was already documenting her environment through crude sketches. Her first significant artwork, Factory Workers at Lunch, created when she was just 14 years old, revealed an astonishing ability to capture human dignity within industrial settings. Despite her family's limited financial resources, Bettersworth's talent couldn't be ignored. Scholarships became her pathway to artistic education. In 1910, she was awarded the St. Louis School of Fine Arts Scholarship. In 1915, she was awarded a Partial Art Students Fellowship League scholarship. By 1935, she was given a Works Progress Administration Art Program grant, which is what would bring her to Columbus. Her primary mentors challenged traditional artistic boundaries. She was very influenced by George Bellows, who taught her the power of urban realism, John Sloan, who emphasized social narrative in art, and Robert Henry, or Henri, who encouraged emotional authenticity in representation. Buttersworth developed a unique artistic approach characterized by hyperrealistic detail, emotionally nuanced color palettes, compositional complexity revealing social relationships, and a commitment to representing marginalized workers. Some of her signature techniques were her layered watercolor underpainting, her precise line work, which was inspired by early photographic techniques, and her strategic use of shadow to emphasize strategic use of shadow to emphasize human emotion. Some of her career milestones were the New Deal era contributions and the federal art project murals that she accomplished. Her government commissioned murals became powerful social documents. The White Gold in the Delta was the first one she did in 1936. It was done in Greenwood at their post office, and it details cotton production process, highlights intricate racial workplace dynamics, and uses a palette of whites, browns, and muted greens. Then she did Out of the Soil in 1937, which was hung in 1940, which is in the Columbus Post Office, which illustrates agricultural labor complexity and depicts the interdependence across racial lines. And the painting utilizes earthy, rich color tones. Some key exhibits and achievements of hers include a Whitney Museum group show in 1932, a presidential art collection selection in 1935. Smithsonian American Art Museum featured artists in 1940. Somewhere along the way, she found time to marry Howard Bettersworth, an illustrator who created a dynamic artistic household with her. Their Woodstock, New York home would become a creative salon hosting discussions about art's social potential with their friends and colleagues. She made a lasting impression and left a lasting legacy on the world of art, especially in the area of contemporary significance. Art historians now recognize Beulah Bettersworth as a critical documentarian of social transformation, an early advocate for workers' representation in art, a pioneer challenging artistic and social conventions. Her preserved works are maintained in the Smithsonian American Art Museum, the New York Public Library's art collection, Mississippi State Historical Museum, the Library of Congress archives, and here in Columbus, a beautiful piece of her work, while controversial, but when looked at in context with the time, is in the Columbus downtown post office. Beulah Bettersworth's art transcended mere visual representation. She created a profound historical narrative capturing human dignity during periods of immense social complexity. Thank you for coming to my episode of the Tombigbee Tales. Until next time.